in general and the things that you can be doing with your social media to get better engagement. So stay tuned. That's all coming up. But because I like to be complicated and do a million things, we will be live streaming on Instagram, which means I got to get everything set up over here. And I'm doing a higher camera than I usually do. So bear with me. If you are watching this video on the replay and not joining me live, you will probably want to jump ahead a couple minutes into this video. I'm going to get everything started on Instagram. I'm going to say hi to everybody over there. We do our normal kind of get started banter, and then we will jump into the topic at hand. So if you don't want to listen to all the ramblings and all the getting started, you are more than welcome to jump ahead a couple minutes into this video. And if you want to watch, you're always welcome to do that too, because sometimes we have some fun. This is where all the reality comes in, with the flubs and all the awkwardness and all the things like that go on. So let me get everything all set up on here. Get everything launched. Usually technology cooperates, not always, but looks good so far. Talk about question stickers while you're live. What is this? I don't know what this is. So now I'm taking screenshots because things are popping up on my screen, and these things happen, right? We get new features on Instagram and we don't even necessarily know what's going on. So it has questions from your story. Post a question sticker to your story and share responses live. I'm going to have to look into this. I honestly don't know what to do with that, but let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Instagram world. I am Jenn Herman. Tonight, we are talking about social media engagement strategies. It's going to be good. All right, so if you're catching this on the replay, you are going to probably want to jump ahead a couple minutes. We're going to do all the get to say hi to everybody, the banter, the back and forth, and then we will jump into the topic at hand. So if you're watching the replay and you don't want to stick around for all the banter, you're more than welcome to skip ahead, or you can stay and hang out. We have some fun conversations when we get things started. So everyone is showing up. We got Ask Evie in the house. Hendo Fit Lifestyle is here. Hunter Hyatt is here. Marianne Hardy is here. Hello, so good to see all of you. Ask Evie said, always better here. True, and I'm glad you got here. You didn't miss the notifications. Veronica is here as well. Hello, good to see you. Annie is here. Evie is, she's teasing me. She's literally on both Instagram and on YouTube. She's just giving me a hard time. Radio Dawn is over here on YouTube as well. Hello to you. So everybody who is here, thank you for tuning in. We are talking social media engagement strategies tonight. That is the topic du jour. If I can act, oh. There's all these things popping up on my screen, you guys. You don't understand. I want to leave a comment. There we go. Okay. Things are popping up on my screen. I got to tell you what's going on. All right. So we're talking social media engagement. It would pop up. Strategies. All right. Here we go. We're posting that. Mike Alton has joined the party. We are pinning that. And Radio Don said he just shared me over on Twitter. Thank you so much. I appreciate that share as well. The same goes for you over here on Instagram. If you want to share this with your friends and family, you can hit that little airplane icon and you can share this as a direct message to anybody you think who should tune in to us talking tonight about the social media engagement strategies. These are things that are working here and now, not just Instagram, not just Facebook. We are talking social media in general, and we are giving you very specific topics and tactics tonight that you can start implementing to get better engagement starting now, because let's face it, we're all struggling. So those are the things we're going to talk about tonight. Erica Beech is in the house. Hey girl, good to see you as well. So I mentioned something weird happened. I went live, and as I went to go live, this thing popped up on my screen here on Instagram, and it said, share your question stickers live. And I was like, what is it? So I screenshotted it because I'm like, I have no idea what's happening right now. But I guess if you ask a question sticker in your story, then you can talk about the responses live. Like, I don't know if this is just something that they're telling you to do this or if this is some sort of integration. I've literally never seen this before. I have no idea. If anybody has seen this and has any idea what this is, feel free to talk to me about it because it's news to me. So I'm going to look into it though, find out what's going on. But apparently something about, posting a sticker in a story, and then you can answer the question live. So not sure how it all ties in, but it could be something fun to play with. Who knows? Atomic Child Design has joined us here as well. So we're going to get started, you guys. We, as I said, are going to talk about social media engagement strategies and all of the different ways that you can do certain tactics to get better engagement across your social media platforms. Because let's face it, right now, it's really tough. This time of year is probably exceptionally tough. We just went through Black Friday, which I think everybody was, talk about saturation. Like, this is something we talked about in a recent live video that I did where, like, personally, we're posting more content this time of year, right? Like, I'm doing something epic with my daughter, like, every night that I have her. Like, we've already done 2 tree lightings, 2 or 3? 3 tree lightings. We've done 1 parade. We've already done SeaWorld. We've done 1 Santa visit. And it's not even December, and we've already done that. And I'm posting all about that on my personal profile on Facebook and stuff. So I'm doing all these things. Just personally, I'm creating more content. Businesses are creating more content because we're creating, seasonal content. We're creating ads, right? Like Black Friday sales and all of the Cyber Monday sales and all those things that were going on. Now we're going into the holiday sales. The amount of content is exponentially higher this time of year than any other time of the year. So just that alone is why we're all seeing reduced reach. It's just a reality. There's only so much attention span and so much time that people can be available on social media. So the algorithms are sitting there sorting through all of this content, including trying to make space for ads. And in doing so, all of us are creating more content, but there's no more space to put that content. So we're all getting reduced reach. So first of all, let's just, like I said, put that on the table and realize you're not alone, okay? You are not the only person who's gotten reduced reach. Stop freaking out. Tell your clients to stop freaking out. They are not the only people that this is happening to. This is everybody, okay? We're all impacted in some way. All right, so we had a bunch of people pop in here on Instagram as well. We got Bushnell Media has joined us. We got Sarah Monroe. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you as well. Seeking Surnames is here. Red, White, and Buzzed has joined us, and their profile photo is wine bottles. I love that. That's so fun. We got Papa Terry has joined us as well. Erin Lloyd is here, and Chris Strub is in the house. Hey, Chris. All right, so like I said, reality is this time of year, engagement's just going to suck, okay? Let's just accept that for what it is. Going into the new year, you're going to have not the same situation, but you're going to have everybody with their New Year's resolutions and all their New Year's sales and all these pushes and content. So we're not going to see any sort of stabilization probably until February, okay? So for the next couple months, accept the fact that your reach and engagement is probably going to suck. Okay, look, we're done. We're done. The call's over. We can just leave it at that and go home. No, we got lots to talk about. But I wanted to just kind of get that out there for you guys so you kind of understand where we're coming from, that all of us are experiencing the same thing and that this is a reality. It's not something you're necessarily going to overcome. It's something you have to accommodate with your strategy. So that being said, I just told you that the biggest issue is too much content. So how about we don't make more content? How about that as a challenge? Let's just not add to the problem, okay? I mean, first of all, don't overcreate content. If you're only posting 3 times a week, don't start posting 5 times a week. You're not helping yourself or anybody else by creating more content. Secondly, there's so much content out there that if you keep posting content back to back to back to back, it's not going to get out there because you're going to have one performing post. And the moment you throw another one up there, the algorithm's like, okay, well, we'll take away the high performing post engagement and give you some on the new one, but we're not going to give you too much on that one because we're still showing the good performing one. And they start competing with each other in order to get attention on any platform. This is Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it. So if you have content out there, don't back it up with more content that's going to compete with it. You're not doing yourself any good with this strategy. So instead, if you want more engagement, if you want more people to see your content, slow it down. Instead of posting 5 times a week, go down to 3 times a week. If you're posting 3 times a week, go down to twice a week. Look at what your best times and days are to post, and post strategically when it's optimized for your audience, but don't create more content. So Chris Strubb typed in, he said, better content, ... more content, or is better than more content. It's always going to be better to have the high quality content versus just more quality or more quantity. Okay. We always want the quality over the quantity. So if you can, and I've preached this in I don't know how many videos, you can go back and watch them all on YouTube. I don't know how many times I've said less is more. Less content, but only the best content. That goes for your ads. That goes for your content across the board. We're not creating content for the sake of creating content. We're creating high quality content that serves a purpose and that actually converts something of value to your audience and inherently to you. Okay? That is the purpose of your content. Even right now, ads and everything, they have to be high quality. If you're putting crap out there, it's going to hurt you. You're not going to get reach. You're going to pay more for it in your ads. It's going to get lower engagement because people don't care about it. They don't want to see it. So let's slow down the content and just create really, really good content. Jeanette Lee has joined us as well. Annie said, this makes so much sense. I'm so glad. Erin Lloyd said, do you use Instagram ads? I do not personally use a lot of ads. I have run them. I do use them. I don't really use them on a consistent basis. I use them in conjunction with other projects that I do. But for me personally, I do not run a lot of ads. I focus mostly on organic reach and organic content strategies. Now, that being said, there are ways that you can use ads to build some warm audiences by, retargeting content to people who have already watched some of your videos or who are already interacting with your website or those sorts of things. So you can build up warm audiences using ads and get more exposure on things, even if they're not, specifically conversion type ads. So there's lots of ways you can use ads, but I don't traditionally use ads all that much for my own personal brand. P.S. I love you too. Hi, good to see you as well. Nourishing Life Co. has joined us. Erica Beech said, are the people having high engagement right now are using bots? Well, I'm going to say not 100%. Not everybody is using bots if they're getting high engagement. Some of them are. If they're getting crazy high engagement, there's a chance they're using some sort of automation tool. In the Instagram world, that's not going to work anymore. I don't know if you guys saw that announcement. You can go and look. I have a post up here on Instagram where I talk specifically about that. Did I talk about that? I think I talked about that. Yeah, I talked about that. I can't remember what I post. I posted so many different places. I forget where I posted things. Did I talk about that live or did I post about it? But Instagram is cutting back on that. So they found an algorithmic tool that they have created that will find out if the likes and comments and follows on an account are coming from a bot. And if they're coming from bots, they're going to strip you of that engagement and of those followers. And if you continue to use those automated robotic tools for that kind of activity, they will punish you up to potentially closing down your account. So those people who are using bots purely to get engagement, to get their likes up, are going to be at risk. You want to stop doing those things. So if you're currently using those tools, you might want to stop. Just saying. Jeanette Lee said, juicy tips as always. Thank you. We're not even started. We got lots more good tips to go through. Erin Lloyd said, I recreated the Childish Gambino video, but in New York City video, it got tons of engagement and it slowed down. How can I ramp it up again? So there's lots of different ways that you could. It could be something where you could share it to groups. I'm assuming you're using it here on Instagram. But if you want to share the link to your Instagram video, like you could share that in Facebook groups with the link, and that's going to send them to Instagram to watch the video, or things like that. So putting that link out on other platforms to let people know and boost up that engagement on it again, get people watching it. That's one way you could do it. You could run ads. You could boost that post. You could, if you're running it here on Instagram, you can use the promote button, and you could use that to push that out as an awareness ad. So it's not meant to be something that's for conversions. You just want people to watch the video. So there's something you could do, in that kind of way. And Sarah Monroe has said, yay, down with the bots. Exactly. Down with the bots. They're going down, people. Okay, so less is more. We want less content. Let's not add to the chaos that's out there. And let's not ruin our chances with the algorithm by creating content back to back. So that's, like I said, if you posting content now and you post something right after it, the two start fighting with each other. So let this post perform and then post again. You will notice on my Instagram account, I often go like a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks between posts. Last week, I posted 3 posts in 1 week. When I did that, the second and third posts, crappy engagement, crappy comparatively, like 500, 600 likes, 100 likes, literally that much differential. So it was a huge drastic change for me. And I was like, wow, this just further validates what I'm saying. Like, you guys, the more time you can put between your posts, the better it is. This is why you have to have a strategy. This is why you want a content calendar. These are things you want to think about when you're planning out when you want to post. Because if you just start rushing and putting up 2 or 3 posts this week, and then you throw up one 5 days later, the one 5 days later is probably going to get way better reach and engagement because it's had time between all the other posts, and now it's going to get resurfaced higher in the feed. It's going to get more attention because people haven't seen anything from you in 5 days. But those posts that you kind of slam together are going to get mixed up in the algorithm, not get as much reach and not get as much engagement. So really plan out your content strategy when you're thinking about this, not just Instagram. This is Facebook. This is even LinkedIn and those sorts of things. Cat Lovers Gifts has joined us as well. Hello. Ellen Grace Marketing is in the house. Carl92 George has joined us as well. Atomic Child Design said, doesn't the algorithm punish you for posting less? No, not at all. The algorithm is looking at multiple components. It's not looking like frequency matters, but especially like you have to understand, if you post 5 times in 1 day, the algorithm cannot show all of your content to your audience. It's physically impossible. So if you post once a day, the algorithm goes, okay, we can put that out and show that to people, but they can't show everybody all 5 posts. It's too much content. So the algorithm chooses where to rank your content based on your frequency, but you're going to get more exposure when you space that content out. If you try to post too much, it's actually going to hurt you. The algorithm gets overwhelmed trying to figure out where to place your content when you post more content. Nourishing Life Co. said, I have an education-based page to share recipes. How do I consistently provide good engagement without ruining my engagement? We're going to talk about some of these strategies, so stick around. These are some of the things that we're going to talk about. So if you're coming in late, you guys, we're talking social media engagement strategies. To this point, we have talked about the fact that we want less content and better content. So if you post content too close together, the algorithm is going to start fighting with your content amongst itself, and everything's going to be penalized as a result. You're going to get lower reach and lower engagements. We want less content. That's what we were just talking about. Ellen Grace just asked, how far out should we post? Is every day too much? It's really going to depend on your business. Some businesses, some profiles, brands can post multiple times a day, and that's completely fine. I post once every 2 or 3 weeks. My Facebook group, I post a lot more, but Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, I don't post a lot, you guys. I'm like once a week, if I'm lucky, usually once every 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I don't post a ton of content out there for this reason, but you could post once a day. If you have enough good content, quality content that drives engagement and that your audience actually wants to see, if you have enough of that to do it once a day, then that's fine. If you're struggling to get good quality content once a day, then it should be 3 times a week. You have to figure out what works for you. In terms of how far out, That's, again, going to depend on your content strategy. You should be looking at that calendar to say, how much content do I have? Where do I need to plan ahead? How can I create content in a way that's going to keep it high quality? Sarah Monroe said, what about posting from an event or a conference? Or is that what Twitter is for? And the laughing emoji. Twitter is definitely better for that. Instagram stories is great for that. I use Instagram stories when I'm at an event or a conference because they can kind of build up a little bit more. And you can have a bit more like rapid fire content in an Instagram story. But it's definitely something that, if you're at a conference or event, I usually wait. And depending on what you're doing, putting everything in an album. So if you're going to post it to Facebook at the end of the conference, put together an album with everything, or a pick of the series of the best photos. If you're doing like, you want to kind of like do the rapid fire tweets, like as you're doing things for the day, keep it on Twitter. Those aren't things you want to put out there on Facebook or even on Instagram. Instagram stories, yes. And LinkedIn, the same thing. None of this rapid fire stuff. We want to, get through the event. Talk about the fact that you're at the event, maybe do a daily recap if it's a multi-day event, but then go home afterwards, compile everything, put together your notes, your key takeaways, the best photos, and put together like a longer form post that's highly valuable and put all that content in one good post that's going to go out. That's going to get much higher engagement and conversions because it's multiple takeaways and tips and your best, responses and insight from the conference versus these onesies and twosies all throughout the day with random pieces of information, because the random pieces, I may see one that's not relevant to me and I'm not going to see the ones that I should have seen, but we're more likely to all see the one big recap post. Carl92 George said, where's your go-to to read about this stuff? Everywhere. I don't really go one place to read these things. I honestly troll Facebook, and I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. So people share articles and updates. I love Social Media Examiner. They're probably one of the best for like overall tactics and trends and kind of new features. But it's something that, I'm reading articles all over the place. I don't have a go-to source. I just honestly kind of compile all the information from all over the place and just kind of take it all in and digest it wherever it's kind of coming from as it comes to me from all these different groups and sources of information. Nourishing Life Co said, making so much sense. I'm so glad this makes sense. And Sarah said, awesome. I'm doing it right now to train my clients. Yes. Get the clients on board. Get them to understand this. Have them come back and watch the video. It'll be over on YouTube forever. Octonation in the house. It's about time Warren showed up. Hey, Warren. Okay, you guys. So we talked about we're talking social media engagement strategies, and we talked about less is more, spacing out your content. We could talk about that for hours, honestly. But I'm going to move on because we have lots more tips I want to get through. So one of the things you can also do in this is basically an algorithmic, not trick, but kind of. But so basically what happens is, and let's give an example, okay? You're going through Facebook, you're scrolling through Facebook one day, and all of a sudden, something pops up from like 2 weeks ago in your feed. And you're like, dude, I saw this post like 2 weeks ago. Why is it back in my feed? Why is it there? Because somebody commented on it, whether it was a person who posted it and replied to something, or one of your friends left a comment on that post, and they left it 10 minutes ago. So because someone commented on it 10 minutes ago, that post from 2 weeks ago has just resurfaced to the top of your feed. Guess what? Now a whole bunch of new people see it. So you just reboosted all of that exposure and reach and engagement, because now people start clicking on it and liking it and commenting on it. And you're like, oh my God, you guys, this was from last year. Like, this isn't relevant anymore. But one person brings it back to life, and all of a sudden it's like this whole like rejuvenated, experience where this post just goes crazy. So you can do this in a strategic manner. I do this very strategically on LinkedIn. I do it somewhat strategically on Facebook. But it's to delay my responses. So certain responses you should respond to immediately. If someone's asking you a question that deserves an immediate response, yes, give them the response and the value added by actually having that response ready for them. They're asking a question or something that is, time sensitive of some sort. But plan out how you respond to, like, if you're getting 10 comments on a post, don't respond to all 10 at the same time. Respond to 2. Come back in a few hours, respond to 2 more. Come back tomorrow, respond to 3 more. So you start spacing out when you reply to those comments, because sometimes you just need to throw up a thank you. Like, oh, thanks, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That doesn't need to be done right away. You can delay that. Now, I'm a huge proponent for always responding. We should be responding to all relevant comments on our content. I'm not saying to not respond, and I'm not saying to wait like weeks and months. But what happens is when you delay those responses, and then you go in and you respond 1 or 2 days later, you kind of kick it up back into the algorithm. And what ends up happening is it keeps that post live longer in people's feeds. It's like I said, I use this very strategically on LinkedIn. When I post content for my day job, when we have very high quality content that we really want a lot of traffic on, I actually assign people when to go and like and comment on it. Like I will post it and then I will send a schedule to the people in my office and say, you need to like it on Tuesday. You need to like it on Wednesday. You need to like it on Thursday, et cetera, or leave comments on those days. Because then what happens is all of the, like, I don't want everybody in my office to like it on Tuesday, because then all of their network, if they have similar networks, are going to only see it once from essentially multiple people or one of the first people that post or like it. But if some people like it on Tuesday, and then some people like it on Wednesday, and some people like it on Thursday, and some people like it on Friday, more people will see it in the feed. It looks like it's longevity content. It's continuing to get engagement. It's not the initial burst. So that boosts it in the algorithmic rankings, but it keeps it active in a way that people who didn't log in on Tuesday, if someone's not active every day on LinkedIn and they didn't look at it on Tuesday, they log in on Thursday. That way they're not going to miss the fact that everyone liked it on Tuesday. They'll see that people liked it on Wednesday or Thursday, and it's going to show up higher in their feeds. So it's one of those things that, again, you don't want to delay it too long, but strategically planning out delayed responses will definitely help boost that long-term engagement on the post. Now, that being said, we still want people to engage immediately, because immediate engagement is an immediate boost to the algorithm. We want something, when it goes out, we want people to be immediately liking it, because that shows the platform that it's high quality content that people like. So we want them to be interacting and engaging right away, which is why you need to be creating high quality content. But your responses can be slightly delayed, because then when you respond, especially if you say, oh, I'm so glad you liked it, what was your favorite part? If they come back and say, oh, I really like tip number 4, now you're creating this dialogue back and forth. That keeps the conversation going, which keeps it active, which adds more chance for reach and exposure to their audience, to more people. It shows a higher ranking in the algorithm, because it's that meaningful communications or meaningful interactions that Facebook made the big shift to in January of 2018. And like I said, the same thing applies on LinkedIn. So really think about this when don't always jump to like respond within 30 seconds of someone posting something. Groups post and respond immediately. That's different. Groups are a private environment. But on your public-facing profiles, delaying and spreading out those responses can actually help you in the long run. All right, we got a bunch of people, bunch of comments. M3 Artist is here. Ride with Dan USA has shown up. We got Crane Tracy. We got This is Amy Lynn. Danny Whiteman is here, or Whitman. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. We are talking social media engagement strategies tonight. We've got Ellen Grace Marketing said, that makes sense with the delayed responses on Facebook and LinkedIn. What about Instagram? I'm going to respond to that in a second, because I think there's another comment behind yours. Erica said she got kicked out, but you're back. That's all that matters. You're back. Back 9 Rally is here. Erica Beech said, how important is it to respond within the first hour on Instagram? And then, hi, Kylie. Hi, good to see you here. So on Instagram, it doesn't matter. You can go back to my post from March about was it March, February, whenever I had to write that stupid post and lose half my life over this thing. It doesn't matter when you respond on Instagram. It doesn't. If you respond in 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 days, Instagram doesn't care from an algorithmic perspective, because Instagram does not resort the content. Instagram is different. Yes, I'm going into a rant because this stuff pisses me off. Facebook and LinkedIn sort, right? They selectively choose what to show you. So they will resort the content. They will repurpose things to the top of the feed. They will choose to hide things from you. Instagram doesn't do that, okay? Instagram puts the content in your feed when you log in. When you leave, that content stays in the exact same orientation. When you come back in, it sorts the new content or something you may have missed, and it puts it there. So if you keep scrolling down far enough, you will see everything in the exact same configuration that you saw it previously, which means your reaction time to something is completely irrelevant because it doesn't resort anything in the algorithm. It's already been predetermined where it's going to show up. So your comments on Instagram don't have the same impact as they do on LinkedIn or Facebook, where things get resurfaced. And there is no impact on the algorithm in terms of when you respond. There is no 1 hour limit. It does not matter. Okay? Right, done? Moving on? Thanks. Sorry, I get a little fired up on that one. Okay, so another trick, but another tactic I want you guys to consider using, and this is really for any social media, is to ask open-ended questions. So, or something where you're asking for advice. Something where people aren't just going to throw up a like or a heart or, just scroll past, but where they become part of the dialogue. When you invite people into the conversation, your engagement goes through the roof. So if you can find ways, not every post, but if you can find ways to ask a question, you're going to get more engagement. So for example, I will share that I read something. Here's a new feature that just came out. Here's how this works, and here's some tips on how you could use it. What do you guys think? Is this something you're excited about? Or have any of you gotten access to this yet? Have you tried it? Giving them the chance to come in and say, yeah, I tried it. I loved it. I did this. Like giving them a chance to participate in the conversation, say, how will you use this for your business? Those are things like when new features are, on Facebook or Instagram, those sorts of things launch. Those are the types of questions I ask when I share an article. I can't remember who it was, but you said you have like an educational or valuable content that you want to share, like with recipes and those sorts of things. Again, you could post something and ask a question and say, what is your favorite traditional family recipe? Or what's your favorite, recipe modification? Let's say you're looking at healthy tips. So instead of using, milk or butter, do you have a substitute use? You can ask for those. Ask people to participate in the conversation, and they do. It's going to boost your engagement. That keeps those meaningful interactions present and alive. And the more people have conversations with you, the more other people will see that content, because the algorithm will rank it as higher quality content. Show it to more people are going to comment. And it's social proof. Hey, Mia's over here on YouTube. Hey, girl. It's a social proof. When someone goes in, like if you see an article or you see something like a link or a post or whatever, and there's like a couple likes and there's, maybe a comment, you're like, nah, okay. But when you go in and there's like 20 comments, like you're inherently like pulled into it. You're like, what did everybody have to say? Like good or bad, you want to like find out what they had to say. And then it's like, well, now you feel like you have to be a part of the conversation because now you have an opinion on it because everyone else had an opinion on it. And so you start sharing your opinion. You probably do this. I know I do it. So if you're creating that content that your audience is likely to engage with, then more people will engage with it. And the more you get that engagement on your content, the more the rest of your content will get higher reach and hopefully engagement, as long as it's high quality content as well. Real Life Doula has joined us. Ask Brent Phillips is here as well. I Fly TBM is here. And so your stay at home has joined us as well. So we're talking, you guys, social media engagement strategies. And right now we're talking about open-ended questions or asking for advice. This is so easy to do around the holidays. What's your favorite holiday tradition? Boom. You will get 1 million responses. Like, people want to talk about that kind of stuff. Like that's an open-ended question, big engagement booster. Now, I see a lot of people do this on Facebook personal profiles, and it drives me crazy because they like bait people, right? Like they post these open-ended questions that are like basically clickbait. Like they're inviting either an argument, Or I've seen people post things like, who's your favorite blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they know that everybody is going to basically put themselves on that list. So like I see all the time people say, if you could recommend a speaker for an upcoming conference, who would you recommend? And everyone goes, me, me, me. And so you have like 67 responses with everyone saying me. And it's like, oh my God, those things drive me nuts. Those are not beneficial to your audience. Okay. Those don't serve anybody well. So think about, how the content, the questions you're asking serves your content and serves your audience. When I post something about a social media tip, like let's say there's a new Instagram feature and I say, who's excited about this? How would you use this for your business? Now, all of a sudden we have 10 or 12 comments of people with creative ways that they would use this that we can all learn from. That we can turn around and be like, oh, that's a really unique way. I had never thought of doing that. I'm going to think, of ways that I can do something similar with my business. So it's a value added response that other people want to read. It's not just a whole bunch of people saying me, 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 or putting a bunch of, yeses or nos or random participation. We always want to be adding value. That's going to help boost those comments and that meaningful interaction. Okay, so one of the next things that you can do, and I've talked about this multiple times. One of the things you can do, it's so simple, you guys. When you think about it, you're going to be like, if you don't know this tip already, because I do talk about it a lot, you're going to be like, oh my God, Jen, this is the easiest thing in the whole wide world. I want you to use positive language. That's it. Instead of being like, so we have this new tool that just came out and we'd like to share it with you. That's boring. We're so excited that we have this new tool that just launched. We've been working on this for months, you guys. It has been amazing. Our team has been coming together and doing all these wonderful things, and we're so excited to release it to you. Guess what? You used wonderful, excited, happy, pleased, wonderful, amazing, awesome. And the algorithm goes, yay, this must be amazing. And you will always get higher engagement. It sounds so simple, but when you put those positive comments or word in there, that's what the algorithm wants. Facebook wants to reward positivity. They don't want to put negativity out there. They want people to be happy when they come to social media, not angry, not sad. So if you're using positive connotations in your language, the Facebook algorithm, the LinkedIn algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, they all look at it and go, oh, okay, boom. I mean, I'm kind of like, this is me. I'm always like this. Like what you get on camera, this is just me 24/7. Any of my friends who are watching will tell you this is exactly who I am. But I always go, oh my God, that's amazing. Or that's so awesome. Like that's what I say all the time. So it's not weird when I put that in a post and go, oh my God, this is amazing. This new tool just came out. Like that's normal for me to say that kind of thing. You have to figure out what works normal for you. If you don't use awesome and amazing, you might use great or other things, then use those words. Don't, force words out there, but use a positive connotation in your language. And when you do that, you are going to get more reach. You are going to get more engagement because the algorithm is going to show it to more people, and people want to be happy. They want to see that happy conversation. So we got Hard Gainer Academy has joined us. Toronto Dog Walking, hey, saying late to the party, love your glasses, thank you. These are from Average Joe's Eyewear. I got these a couple weeks ago. I talked them on my episode 2 weeks ago. And you guys can use Jenn's Friends 10, Jenns, Friends, and the number 10, and you can go to Average Joe's Eyewear and get discount on your own glasses. Just saying. But they're awesome, you guys. I wrote a blog post or a post here on Instagram. If you want to hear all about the glasses and how awesome they are, you can go check them out there. Patrick Novak has joined us. Offer Makers has joined us as well. And over here on YouTube, my girl Mia Voss is saying, yes, this is you in the true form. This is me. This is who you get. I'm not faking it. I'm not that good of an actress. Okay. So like I said, focus on that positive language. When you start using negativity and those sorts of things, it will usually hinder your reach. So find ways that you can take what is a very casual everyday statement and up the ante in terms of the positivity. Put those positive words in there, and that is going to get you more reach and essentially more engagement too. Okay, so another thing I want you to do, and this is going to sound counterintuitive to all of those of you who are running a business, stop selling. Okay? Okay. When you constantly sell, your reach and your engagement plummet. This should not be a newsflash for any of you. You should be very familiar with this concept, but stop selling. Like, you can sell once in a while, but social media is a conversation, okay? I'm not going to walk up to you every 5 minutes on the street and be like, hey, want to buy this? Hey, want to buy this? Hey, look how awesome we are. Oh, look, I have a discount. Oh, look, you get this new thing? Look, we have a new thing. Oh, and here's another new one. Oh, can you come buy this one? How about this? That's not normal, okay? That's not how we act in real life. And that's not, if someone walks into your store, if you own a physical store and they walk into your store and they're there to purchase something, you still say, hey, how was your weekend? How was your Thanksgiving? How are the kids? Oh my gosh, love your glasses. Everything looks great. Hope everything's good. Hey, can I help you with anything? Then you move towards the sale. And that's assuming they walked into your store, right? Imagine if you just pass them by on the street. They're not walking into your store. They have no intention of walking in and purchasing something. And if you walk up to them with a sign in their face in the middle of the street that says, buy this from me, they're going to slap you and keep on walking. Social media, unless they come to your page, unless they are physically in your effort of presence, they're not looking to be sold to. And even if they come into your space, your page, your group, your videos, whatever it is, they want to have a relationship before you're pushing things on them. So stop pushing the sale. The sale can be embedded in something. It could be something where, I've got the 360 marketing squad, which is $5 a month, you guys, $5 a month. That's all it is. You get 360 degrees of marketing solutions. But I talk about, someone asks me a question and I offer some solution and advice. I don't pitch 360 at them. I don't pitch my consulting services at them. I answer their question. If they come back and ask me another question, then I come back and say, yeah, by the way, if you want more help with this, I have a variety of solutions that could help you. And I give them the menu of things that might work for them. So it's not something where I just show up and they ask me a question and I'm throwing a sale in their face. It has to be a conversation, a dialogue. And if all you're doing is constantly putting everything on social media with some sort of sales connotation, it's not going to work. The day and age of that was long gone, like 2-3 years ago. It's like ancient history now. Your social media needs to be a presence for community building, which will translate into relationships, which translate into sales. But it's not about sales first and foremost. You can absolutely get sales. I get sales from videos. People watch this video and they send me an email and say, hey, can I hire you? Abso-freaking-lutely. Did I ever in this video tell them to email me and work with me? No, but they value my expertise and the content that I'm sharing with them enough that they know they want to work with me. That is what social media is. It's building that relationship, not pushing the sale. So yes, you can run ads. Yes, you can put promotional content out there. I do it all the time. I put up posts when I launched 360. Absolutely. But it's not something that is every single post all the time. I do it consistently over time when things come up. I'm still here to make money, but not every piece of content is pushing a sale. SV Holmes, hey girl, hey, good to see you here as well. And over here, Mia Voss, I can't do the I can't do it. I literally can't roll my R's, you guys. I'm actually physically tongue-tied, and I've never been able to roll an R in my entire life. I literally can't do it. So Mia Voss went, Stop selling is true. Quickest way to alienate. So Mia Voss, high five on you, girl. Love you. And yes, absolutely. Pushing the sale is just gonna, like I said, it's like walking down the street. Someone's gonna slap you, punch you, push you out of the way, and keep on walking. So let's not over push the sales, especially this time of year. I know it's easy to want to push sales, but realize there has to be some moderation to it. Okay. Another thing I wanted to point out, this kind of actually could almost tie into the positive language, but in a kind of a different way. I want you to show your flaws. And by this, I mean being authentic. I mean being true to yourself and your brand. Live video, the reason live video is so powerful is because you see it all. Like, if I can't think about what I want to say when I sit here and look down at my notes and try to remember what I want to talk about next, that's real. In our 360 group, Amanda just recorded an intro video to welcome the latest group of new members. And she left some of the bloopers in the video where she okay, blooper number 3, let's keep on rolling. But she left some of those in the video. And I was like, yes, like leave those in, because even those of us who do live video and do, all these video recordings all the time, we still mess up. We still stumble over our words. But it's that authenticity that makes people connect with you. And now, by embracing your flaws, I'm not telling you to go out and do everything with bad grammar, because grammar police will show up and it will drive engagement if you spell something wrong or leave a word out or use the wrong there or something like that. People will come out and call you out for it, and it definitely drives engagement. But that doesn't make you look good. So let's not necessarily embrace that kind of flaw, but embrace those little things you do. Like if you're recording a video, it's okay to stumble over your words. Everything doesn't have to be perfect and polished. People will appreciate that more, and they're more likely to say, oh my God, I loved how real you were in that video, or I really loved that you talked about this component. And they're more likely to pick up on the reality of the conversation and trust it more and boost that engagement and the conversation. Likewise, I do a lot of weird things, and this has been brought to my attention so many times, and I'm very self-aware. I realize I do this, but I sit here and I sound all professional, and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, oh, no, honey, mama, don't play. And I go all ghetto. Like, I just do that. Like, I will snap my finger and I will, drop those kind of lines, and I do it all the time. I wouldn't say it's a flaw, but it's who I am, and I've totally embraced that. I realize that's my personality. And I roll from that one tone of voice to the other. But by doing that, it draws people in. It keeps people engaged. And when I write content, I write the way I talk. And so if you don't have the world's best grammar, that's okay. People relate to it when it's not always perfect. And so don't feel like everything, I'm not saying don't put things through an editor, and I'm not saying don't put things through, video production. Some of it, yes, but not all of it. Let some of your reality come through. And I know Evie is here watching tonight, and she's German, and she has great English. It's not that she, has bad English, but occasionally she will misphrase something, and I always laugh, and I kind of call her out on it sometimes, but it's like a giggle and we have a good time about it. And she knows that that she didn't say it right, but she's like, whatever, it's the German. And she kind of blows it off and accepts it for what it is. And I love that about her, because it just shows her true personality, and it's so genuinely her, but it also does open up dialogue. It invites me to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just said that. That is so funny, and we start talking about it. So when you embrace those things, people will embrace you, and that drives engagement, it drives reach, and it will eventually drive conversions as well. So Sarah said, be real, and it shows all of us that we don't have to be perfect to post. Absolutely. That was what I said to Amanda when she left those flubs in that video. I was like, this just shows our audience that we're not perfect. This is what we do, but we're not perfect. We make mistakes too, and they need to see that too. Your audience needs to see that they're not perfect, that you're not perfect, that it's okay. People bond over the most random things, you guys. I have one of my good friends, Kelly, whom I love, Kelly Noble Mirabella, chatbot queen. She came onto one of my live videos 2 years ago. And it was a shit show video. Everything could go wrong, and that video had gone wrong. And I was like, my video looked like this. It was all perfect, and the background was all good. But my floor was a disaster. My office was a disaster. My kid had completely just pulled everything out of my desk and cupboards, and it was covered. You couldn't even see the carpet through all the stuff on the floor. And I picked my phone up and I showed it to them on camera. I was like, this is real life. This is what my life looks like. And Kelly was like, that's when I knew you were my soul sister. And it's it was so real and raw, but that was an immediate bond and connection that made her connect with me. And we've done girls trips together now and done all these things, and we have a great time together. And that was the first time that I really knew about her, was 2 years ago when I did that video. And so these things, being that real, raw, open, and honest can actually help people bond over things with you that make you more open and transparent to them and build those connections. And like I said, when people start commenting, it's going to boost that engagement as well. So not only is it going to forge real relationships, but it's going to help your engagement as well. Sarah also said, if I had $1 for every typo, ... let's count if the if and the on the if and in place of on. Exactly. So it's like, how many times have we put the wrong thing out there? Like, we all do it. It's okay. Like, don't stress about it. It's normal. It's human. It's part of the authenticity in our current, landscape. People want that authenticity. So embrace it. If you have those flaws, it's okay. You are uniquely you, and do it unashamedly. Unashamedly? Is that a word? Unapologetically. I always say I'm unapologetically me. Erica Beech said live versus love. Yeah, right? I mean, all these things happen all the time. I always I do the I am, and then it like autocorrects to the I apostrophe M, but I'll hit I-N instead of I am. And so it's in instead of I'm. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys, it's like, we all do this. Like, we're all used to this. So embrace it. Okay, so one of the other things, and this is specifically for Facebook groups. So I would love to do show of hands. Who's got a Facebook group? So let's be engaged. Put up the hand or say me in the comments if you have a Facebook group that you manage. So when it comes to Facebook groups, so Offer Makers is saying yes, they've got one as well. Toronto Dog Walking has got one. I love. See, do you guys know what I just did there? I just generated engagement. What did I do? Asked you guys a question and you answered it. See how I did that? Just saying. Bushnell Media said me. So here's the thing. When it comes to Facebook groups, again, they've grown in popularity. Facebook pushed them. A lot of people started Facebook groups. Good on you for doing it. Sarah Monroe's giving me the clappy hands. Toronto Dog Walking is laughing at me. Hey, I'm just showing you how it works, people. But Facebook really pushed the groups, and groups have grown exponentially. Okay. And if anybody has a Facebook group right now, has your reach just plummeted? Like, is your engagement just like it's gone? Like, in the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, Facebook group engagement and especially Facebook group reach is in the tank, like, for almost everybody. Everyone's talking about it in the groups. Everyone's talking about it on social media. This is a widespread issue. Goes back to what we talked about at the top of the hour about the saturation. This time of year, it's crazy. Things will go back to normal, I'm willing to bet, in February. But that being said, Facebook groups, everyone's freaking out because engagement and reach is down. Like, you have 100 group members and like 2 people are seeing your post. And you're like, WTF? Like, what do you want me to do, Facebook? How am I supposed to make this better? Bushnell Media said, yes, it's scary. Sarah Monroe said, client makes me build Facebook groups for high school students for each program year. Imagine the crickets. Holy. Oh, yeah, that's going to be some crickets. Okay. I'm feeling you on this one. And I'm thinking we need to find a way to convince your client to have one group for everybody. Is it possible? And keep the engagement going over time? That's going to be tough. But okay, so specifically for the Facebook groups and for those of you who are admins in a Facebook group, I want you to think about a couple strategies. One is that when you post, your content will get more reach than if somebody else posts in the group. So typically, if I posted my Facebook group and I post something and said, hey, like I posted at, an hour ago, just over an hour ago, and said, hey, by the way, I'm going live at, 7:30 Eastern over on Instagram if you want to come and join the party. So when I went and posted that, I got an immediate burst of engagement, a bunch of people liking the post. I think like 5 or 6 people. But I posted it because my audience knows that when I post something in the group, they want to tune in for it. So they're more likely to get those notifications because they're more likely to interact with my content. So they will get the notifications that say, hey, Jenn Herman just posted in Jenn's Trends in social media, and they get the notification, they go check it out. Or it will rank higher in their feed when they log into their feed. They will see it rank higher because it's from me as the admin. Now, when somebody else posts in the group, not everybody is going to see it. And a lot of times even I don't see it. Like I have to go check my Facebook group just to make sure I didn't miss the things that popped in because I will miss notifications. I sometimes won't be notified when people post in my own group. So it's one of those things where if somebody else posts in the group, I will go in and comment on their post. So I will say, this is great. Thanks so much for sharing. Or I will answer the question that they asked or whatever it is. But when I go in and engage with their content, now everyone else gets the notification or it shows up in their feed that I communicated in some way in the group. So that post will get more reach and hopefully more engagement. So I want you to think about that for those of you who are admins in the groups and find ways to make sure that you are engaging with the content, either that you're posting it, be consistent with that and make sure you're posting content to your group. Because if you're not posting to your group, people aren't seeing what other people are posting as much. If you as the admin post, they're going to see more of that content, which means they'll see more of the other content as well. And then if someone else is posting, make sure you take the time to respond because you as the admin will get more exposure on that content, which will help, obviously, if more people see it, they're more likely to comment or engage with it within the group. So that is tip number one. The other thing is friends. So if I'm in a Facebook group that has 100 people in it, and I don't care to see all those notifications or whatever, but and I'm in groups that have way more than 100 people in them, but when my friends comment or post in that group, I get a notification. So if Mike Alton comments on something in Stephanie's group, then I see Mike Alton commented on something in Social Media Strategists or Lights Camera Live or whatever it is. So I see those notifications because he was my friend, and Facebook assumes that if he's my friend in the same group as me, I need to know what he's posting about or commenting on. So find ways, not in a bad way, not in a spammy way, but invite your audience of your group to potentially invite their friends to the group. Now, there are some people that do this in a very sleazy, slimy way, where they offer a reward for whoever gets the most people in the group. That does not work. We don't want those kind of sleazy tactics. Instead, encourage them and say, hey, if you guys are getting value out of this group and there's anybody that you think should join the group, please share this group with them. Please invite them to the group. Because what happens is if they invite 3 of their friends to the group, now when any one of those 4 post, if all 4 of them are mutual friends, they will see the post from the other people. And that will help get more engagement, more exposure on those posts because their friends are in the group. So not sleazy, slimy tactics, but find ways to encourage authentic, good quality people to come join the group that are relevant to that group. True You with Connie has joined us. Robin B. Artist is here as well. Erica Beech said, why am I not in any of your groups? Girl, I do not know. You got to get in those groups. All right. So for the record, Jenn's Trends in social media. Jenn's Trends in social media. Just look for that on Facebook and the group will pop up. I have the page Jenn's Trends. The group is Jenn's Trends in social media. That group is free. Join it. It's amazing. Group number 2, 360 Marketing Squad. Go to 360marketingsquad.com. You can sign up for $5 a month. You get me, Mike Alton, Stephanie Liu, and Amanda Robinson as your 360 degrees of marketing solutions. It's $5 a month. And you get the Facebook group where we do a live training in the group exclusively for members. We do one of those a month. We have tips being shared every single day. We have dialogue, answering questions, tons of value for $5 a month. So those are my 2 dominant groups right now. I'm in some other ones, like I'm in the social media society. Is that what it is? From Social Media Examiner. So I'm in that one. I'm in a couple other ones. But the 2 that I moderate the most are Jenn's Trends in Social Media and 360 Marketing Squad. So Kylie is saying, great advice. You are welcome. Toronto Dog Walking said, both groups are awesome. And I love that you're in both groups. And Offer Maker said, it's so worth it. Thank you. Please just keep telling everybody that it's worth it and how awesome it is. I mean, I could use a little, ego boost. I'm just saying. I love you guys though, honestly. All right, so you guys, before we get to the end of the hour, because we're going to get kicked off here in a matter of a couple minutes, finally, when it comes to your social media engagement strategies, the last thing I want you to do, the last thing I want you to think about is to go look at your own damn analytics. Because I can sit here until I am blue in the face, not blue in the scarf, but blue in the face, and tell you all the things to do. But if your analytics tell you to do something else, don't listen to me, okay? Go do what your analytics tell you to do. All of the things I told you are generally acceptable strategies. But if your analytics tell you to post more content, then post more. If your analytics tell you to post less content because you get more engagement when you leave space between them, then leave more space between them. If your analytics are telling you to post on certain times of the day, post then. If your analytics are showing you that the color blue gets more engagement, then post more photos with the color blue. If you're engaged, or if your analytics tell you that videos do better than photos, go create more videos. Whatever is working for you, do more of it. That's why your analytics are there. The insights and that data is there for a reason, to allow you to do more of what works. Similarly, go look at what doesn't work. Go look at your lowest performing content. I always say this, and people are always like, why? Go look at your lowest performing content. What is consistent about the content that sucked? Why did that post get such low engagement? Why did that post perform so poorly? What was it? What was consistent amongst all your lowest performing pieces of content? Was it, like I said, the color? Was it the time of the day? Was it something in the caption or lack of a caption? Was it something about, was it an article link versus a photo post? Was it a video versus a photo? Was it a text only? What is it about those lowest performing posts? And stop doing that. Don't do what doesn't work. And if every time you make a sales pitch, your engagement and your conversions and everything tanks, stop doing it. Look at the things we talked about as alternatives. Don't push the sale. Use positive language. Find other ways to put that content out there in a way that actually augments your content in your analytics balance and doesn't detract from it and make it a poor performing post. All right, so I'm going to do a mic drop on that one and call it a day because I got 28 seconds. I told you we're going to get kicked off. You guys, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you for being here. We will be back in 2 weeks with another topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys know I love you. And again, 360marketingsquad.com for $5 a month if you want to check that out. And we will see you somewhere around here on Instagram or in the Facebook groups. Bye, guys. Saved, shared. All right, YouTube world. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who watched live, for those of you who watched this whole video on a replay or any portion of it and got to this point, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you got some valuable tips. And as mentioned, you can find me in all of those Facebook groups. Feel free to subscribe to this channel so you get alerted to the next round of videos that I will do. We're here every 2 weeks. And I also upload videos here to YouTube occasionally with different training tips and tactics and tutorials that are here just to make your life easier and more efficient. So subscribe. All right, you guys, I will see you in 2 weeks.